I mean, if you would have told me, and then so pull this off,
promise.
I don't think it's I think it's coming down. I just, it's really, you're the guy. You know, you've got the team and you put together a team. It's extreme between 3 million. That's what I started. What do we do? What can I do to help?
We got donations we're not
USAID. Right, yeah, they don't.
but the project has so much support. They donated it's 5,700 square meter building. This is like proportionally to the amount of the neighborhood. Huge, like huge benefit in terms of the community. It's a big, also some community. By what? Like big landowners, they would say, take all this space. So we're developing
what? Because I want to get to these guys. It's very interesting. Right. Put one page memo. Because to me, what you're saying is, world is going to likely have a role to help skateboarding and SOs, or you don't need help per se, but to create these models to prepare each region to be ready to support their NSOs in this bilateral or the development.
To participate.
Or else we get left on the side. Or else we just sit there, do tie and knots.
This is what I hear. Yes, right now,
Safe.
Other videos are just coming out. They're so professional. So that's good. It's also new information.
Yeah. You said you talked about Scott. Did you say Scott? Scott Tier?
No, that's a free shot, but it was,
as long as he's aware of it, because I keep reading all this stuff too. And, you know, the evidence, you're the driver. Okay.
We'll be documenting everything. So right now it's very quiet, like focusing a lot on this first stage because the pieces are still being put together. Now we can finish putting the pieces together and we're ready to communicate. That's going to start.
Okay, so here's the vision that I get listening to, that they're within what I'm doing, it's like multiple modules or sections, like the organization like sustainability, funding, crowdsourcing. So we're going to have this portfolio of resources that, again, if best practices, so based on your experience, that we can then support other NSOs. Like we're doing this, or we're weak on this, we can help you with this, or we need the whole thing, we just need this, or we need if
these letters go from his side, and he invites the kids to work. And he speaks the nine brothers polite. And he tells the kids, speak to your parents, because no, but to get contained. And then he asks the kids, and they make a promise to say that we respect to protect life. And they start. Are you going? Careful. I go to the basement and so they look for God. Cycling. The bicycle. They look for the bicycle. Be disciplined in life.
With the microscope on
This is the task. And then, what is correct? What is wrong? You see, and find the mistakes. You link the release. Okay? No striving. You put where I go there.
where are we focusing our investments, like understand a little bit what is happening. This is another thing that I also
and then the work, and the right actors are like, if you get more than 35 marks, they get a diploma. If they get less,
for example,
they
private
have to read again.
so they understand
So it's an honorary diploma, but
these guys are called Stratford, so it's Stratford is provider of these type of information that just gets inside any security section of any organization, public, private, so that they can draw from there and work on so they should have this framework of knowledge called which is a really hard so the government in the United States is using several methodologies. Instead, like operation research, where you should headed by Marshall Rich. He has been there for whatever decade. Draws upon projected scenarios of 30, 50 potential enemies. The political shift power shared. Then, and others that might interfere in which other methodologies might neglect. And so pretty much their task is thinking on what nobody's thinking right now, projecting at levels that nobody's thinking right now, modeling simple, thinking complex, bringing things together, and just prepare. And so and then with very little information about this, so I came up with this, not came up, but I found this recent publication from an expert from Yale University who said, well, has called medicine and a very summary of what these concepts of medicine lecture and all that. But it's very simple to understand put together afterwards another publication that was comparing with the real world but then how if we are for example the slogan of the diplomacy one action no diplomacy in action so they what I love of the years is that it's just not, I would not say cynical, but it's just so honest. Like you go to the website of USAID, it just says the purpose of our agency is to further diplomacy and our interests abroad through development. Exactly. So it was analyzing different work. It's real, like have a real impact on geopolitical, like situation. So he was saying they need to incorporate more into their strategy within their thinking. And this is not no surprise. It's like if we get surprised of the latest news of everyone spying on everyone else. It's like, oh, they're trying to say something.
Yes, from Cynthia. Thank you very much.
Just the kind of the message was here. Corporations are all using schools, I mean, everyone is strategic planning. Yeah, they are. Yeah. I'm an industrial engineer. My discipline came from systems engineering. So next year, at the end, there's a need to put in a little more. So to be able to deliver effectively, be sure of our results. So that's where these type of tools. So it's just connecting these dots of long-term scenarios, better understanding of the needs of our organizations at different levels, and how we right now are preparing to satisfy these needs. The project is being signed as well with that. All the documents are finished, for example, and not only that, but all the learning things are working.
You're very somehow codify this and make it
Okay, thank you so much. We will start. That's that. We will start again. So we need to come back, and organize the groups.
Okay, here's a group.
So we need to come back. We will split the groups between the different experts.
Here's a group. Come and join.
So Lars is ready to work with one group. Karen is ready also. Can you find a spot so we can organize the group?
Du, Yuda, Malaysia.
Ay. Would you like to have a group? You will work with her. Perfect. Okay. So we have one group with Lars, which is actually working with the business perspective. Basiliki is going to work with road safety, if you want to join her. And Karen Shea is going to work with the situation of torture in jails, if you want to join. Do you want to have a group? What? Do you want to have a group to talk about the environment?
Yes, all right.
Yeah. And Dr. Abdullah would have a group, if you want. Here, doctor. Can you bring the doctor here?
So what's your name?
Holland,
About the environment.
5 minutes, 2 minutes.
We will have 20 minutes, and then they will present. So here we have a group to talk about environment. Good. Okay. You want to join one of the groups?
Road safety is here.
Road safety, environment, torture prevention, and business perspective. And Lorena has the NSO group that she already started here. So we are going to arrange chairs around here. So the ones who want to talk about NSO perspective and how to revise the processes and policies, Lorena is going to work on that. Which group would you like to join?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay, good.
Okay.
We have business,
That the business,
that is NSO. Here is road safety, environment, and here is torture.
No politics.
Preventing torture.
No politics.
No politics. No.
Right, so now how much time do we have?
We will have 20 minutes.
And they're just to discuss.
Yeah, no, we need to give them the paper so they can write
What?
the outcomes of their discussion.
Okay, these guys don't have.
Which group would you like to join?
Business.
Okay, good. So for the ones that are joining online, we are back and now we are gathering groups and working in different questions with the perspective of business, of how can we apply road safety as a Messengers of Peace project, how can we relate to prevention of torture or similar situations. So if you have any question for any of our experts online, you can now send your questions so we can pass it to our experts. Lorena Gudiño will work about the NSO policies and how to relate that with the processes. And Dr. Abdullah is talking about environment with Dr. Hamad.
Right.
We have one question from one of our community leaders, and many people have asked us the question, how can I get a scarf? So the scarf, I can get it if I get trained. So your NSO is able, and we are asking and supporting your NSO to organize a Messengers of Peace network training, or we can train you online. And once you are trained and you assume a responsibility for Messengers of Peace, then you can get a scarf. But then we need to work a lot to become an ambassador.
Suddenly, so much of confusion from the media. That's how students
monitoring this thing. So we can start talking now.
all these aspects, this is giving more emphasis on the culture and spiritual. I think that having more of this spiritual aspect will definitely change the children's get that's how that can also lead.
So for the ones joining online, we are going to go through some of our groups to listen what they are talking about. Here we have a Peter Illich. They are talking about environment.
You prepare for disaster, emergency response or disaster. We're not an aid agency, but there is like the scouts in Japan, there's a story of a young scout who went out and was directing traffic after the earthquake. He wanted to do something, and he put on his scout uniform, and that represented some authority in his town and village. And people were driving around, and it was a disaster situation, but he made 2 flags, and he directed traffic. And he was prepared to do that. So we're getting a lot of requests from NSOs or scouts who want to have the skills to be prepared. I mean, it's consistent with the scout, the motto of to be prepared for, typhoon, earthquake, disaster. I know that when I was a scout, first aid, the medical, the basic medical care that you are taught in earning first aid merit badge was one thing that I had received that, may or may not have been used in my life just because I was sick. So one of the things I think we can consider as a potential environmental project is this this request we've heard repeatedly from scouts and some NSOs that this to be prepared for the type of disaster that frequent certain regions. I don't know if sandstorms, for example, is there something you can do to prepare?
So they are talking about how any of your projects or your initiatives can actually be supported as a Messengers of Peace project if you are related that to environment. But that depends on your NSO or the scout group or the product that you have. But environment is one of the areas that Messengers of Peace is supporting because it depends on the issues that you have in your NSO.
Yeah, if the answer is clear with the scout, why, where, when, how, they will work directly and they achieve.
Saying when he speaks in the microphone.
Okay.
So.
Could you imagine time I knew there were 1,000 members, and then asked what activities do they do. And they did a wonderful job. They collected old shoes, they put it to a shoe, survival shoe, where they made one stitch it, made it new, and they distributed to the people who are new. Some, what they did, had collected from the shops, retail, where they donated donation. They gave it to the remote areas where they come, where they some tools. These were some of the wonderful things they have done. At the time I knew. I even didn't know, but it's not published. I think some of the activities which they have carried out, I think if they could, the report could be published. I think that could be what we
dream at least 500,000 scouts to join my project.
That sounds fantastic. So
I have the book. I have the example book. Would you like to see? Let me go to up and show you.
So there are 7 principles of framing presentation. So the 8th one for me, just to borrow the dream. So I borrow the dream and then I pick up the idea just to have a passport, like some other name, passport, and get visa for MOP, having certain tests for certain accidents. So definitely because I'm
website and they see the other scouts do the same, they now they believe that they are belong to one family, and as they believe they are a family, they will appreciate each other, they will understand each other, and they will be have a good relationship, and that is peace coming.
We need to start rearranging so our group can report and you learn together and that our participants online can learn. No worries. So soon we'll start again. Thank you so much. How was it? How was it?
Yeah, it was fine. No problem.
For the other groups that still in the discussion, we need to rearrange so that we can. Yes. Okay. So I can see that the discussions have been very productive and that our experts are also excited about. So I will ask each of the groups to select someone so that we can share our outcomes with the participants online and with the other participants in the groups. So I will ask the business group to start because I know you are ready while the others are rearranging and organizing. So for the ones that are joining online, what we did now is we had groups and we work with the different experts, and each of the groups have shared ideas of how they can implement either service or messengers of peace within their NSOs, and the experts have shared their vision and how they can help. So we will listen first to the business perspective group.
It's me, Zahid, from Pakistan.
Jill from Australia.
And we are representing a group with expertise of very high-class business. And we discussed and shared a lot the experiences of all the participants. And we become aware that in Africa, in Asia, in Inter-America region, everywhere Messenger of Peace activities are being run, or projects are being run accordingly their own to solve the issues or according to their own needs. For example, in Africa, due to long war between or among the tribes, scouting through MOP, they did a lot, and everyone has this band, and this is also one of the example of the MOP. And for future, we have a very good one of the idea from Bangkok, Thailand, and that is a passport, scout passport, and from Pakistan, I have immediately borrowed this dream as a 7th, 8th principal. I borrowed the dream, and as a MOP coordinator, I will go back with this idea to develop a MOP passport, having visas, issuing visas to the scouts who will involve in different MOP activities in their units at local level. And after taking certain visas, they will be able to get something issued from their headquarters, concerned headquarters. So thank you for this sharing this idea. Then some of our countries have also introduced ring badge. They have adopted, and the scouts who are involved in any of the MOP activity, they will be awarded MOP badge. Then something I would like to ask my colleague.
Also, we realised that at just the basic level of the Scout Troop or the Cub Pack, that we are doing activities just in our normal program, which can be messengers of peace, which we can now realise that we can upload them to the website so that it travels all around the world.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I will invite our colleague from Hong Kong to share information with us.
Can you hold this one for me?
Yeah, sure.
Natchai Rataku, International Commissioner from Thailand. I'd like to show you a small things, what we have developed from the MOP, from the MOP, and what we have tried to do. We issued make the law, the Scout regulation, not only badge, but we also have the medals, 3rd class, 2nd class, and 1st class, and also the certificate signed by the chairman of Scout Executive, who is the Minister of Education, Permanent Secretary, Secretary General, and the chairman of the projects. That will be their milestone. In order to get achievement, you have to do the good things to the public, not even to your parents, to school, to everywhere, and have been signed. The key of success is not the time, how many times you have done, but how many times you have make people happy. And we want to encourage our young to earn the happiness by doing other happier. That's the key concept. And one happy happen, the happiness happen, then one sign, one signature. You have to collect 100 times in order to achieve the 3rd class. Then another time, 2nd class, another 100 times the 1st class. Before you have this book, the book will be compiled with content with what my king, who is the chief of scout, had been taught scout way, how to be the good people, how to be the behave man. Well, we can put anyone, but in Thailand we respect the king as the top highest. Then everything here by the king, what he teach in the scout. And when you receive this one, not only you buy, because it costs you half €1. Expensive? 65 cents. 5 Hong Kong dollar. But money cannot buy. When you receive pay, you have to pay volunteer pay, and you have to swear in front of the pictures of the king and swear that you will do a good thing for him, for the scout, for the country. Yes, and you keep it like a value book things. So everybody, I'd like to share, you have read a little bit in Thai, I hope. I'm proud to say we just started this project in Thailand 5 months ago, since we come back from Philippines. And we start one by one. Now we have the member, 100,000 member now.
Thank you. Thank you from all of our groups.
Thank you so much. That's a very good example of what the NSOs can develop by themselves to promote within your youth program and within your own agenda of program. So thank you so much. Is there any highlight related to why business sector will be interested in supporting Messengers of Peace that you want to comment? No, from the participants. Okay, good. So we have another group. So here, Ray? Okay. Tell your name, your country, and what your perspective.
Thank you. Well, we're Jesse Chu from Scouts of China in Taiwan. Ledet Solomon from Ethiopia. Raimundo Tamayo from Mexico. And we're going to share the reflections made in this group about ending torture and by giving justice. So these reflections were based on different situations, specifically of young people that are in prisons and that are subject not only to torture but also to unfair judgment or no judgment at all. No. So we had we shared a little bit of experiences from NSOs from Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, Ethiopia, Madagascar, Denmark, Finland, Mexico, Haiti, and the United States. And we reflected on how can scouts help. How could scouts engage in a topic such as these? And we talked about sensitization and the importance of making issues and problems visible, which at the beginning for many people, situations such as these might be hidden or just not part of the reality. And there's some things that happen every day, no? Mobilizing lawyers, we know that a lot of young people might be, since a very young age as well, showing interest in law, or might be students of law school, and through their scout experience and through also their possibilities, they might be interested in engaging in projects that have to do with helping out someone else before they, or I mean, either as volunteers, either as students, whatever it is, but that might adopt these types of situations as a way to serve the community or to promote peace in their communities. Promoting justice. And this is very important because justice promoted not only publicly but also within their schools, within their contexts. Also, why not together with their friends and even sharing these topics to make them visible. Lobbying to have laws about torture and youth justice. So this is also important because not all countries have legislation that protects young people against torture or against unfair trial, for example, etc. No? Literature and program support elements. And we were discussing as well that many times it's the lack of information or access to information that makes a lot of young people in countries where torture or unfair trial happens because they don't have the information. They don't know that legislation exists. They don't know who to call. They don't know what their rights are. So it's these literature and program support elements that many NSOs have that can be useful for having this information accessible. Promotion of children's rights, which at the end as well, for example, the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, that was once signed between World Scouting and UNICEF, for example, spoke a lot about promoting children's rights or child rights to make people aware that they have rights. I'm going to pass the microphone here to Ledette to explain the circle of protection.
I don't think I can hold two mics. Okay. The circle of protection is what we're doing is, as the scouts, the youth, we're very much, most of countries are very much accepting about scouting, and the government understands and recognizes scouts. So if we can have scout youth go to these children where they don't get any lawyers, they don't get attorneys, they'll be staying in that prison until they get assistance, which might take from 3 to 5 to 8 years. We can have the circle of protection between us where when there's a new child that is going into prison, they call the scouts. And we can easily sometimes, even in Ethiopia, the police, when they see us, they go, hey, scouts, when we're with our uniform. They don't mind if we go anywhere because they trust us. And we earned that, and we have to keep that. So if we go to these prisons, they will let us know who's there, who does not have a lawyer, so that we can try to contact lawyers to make sure there's a child. Every child in the prison has an attorney or a lawyer.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, just sharing as well that some National Scout organizations have very interesting practices. For example, in Ethiopia, they're doing some scout activities and scout groups in some of the prisons. In Haiti, there's a partnership between some agencies, international cooperation agencies, and Scouts of Haiti to promote the conditions of, to improve the conditions of young people within the prisons, to provide them with a support system, psychosocial support, and that these people know that they also, even though they might be in these conditions, they also have a friend, a scout friend, and that they can also be scouts and participate in society. And these networks and these types of initiatives, for example, we were also sharing that in Mexico, particularly, we're combining the scout method with the human rights-based approach, where it recognizes that the rights holders, which in this case are the young people, have rights, and they have to have the means to demand those rights and to have an information to access those rights. And we have duty bearers, like the government, like their parents, like even the people working at the prison, that need to understand and better be capable of delivering those rights. So scouts, with all these types of actions, contribute to empowering the individuals to know their rights and empowering duty bearers to make those rights a reality. So I went again, just concluding in this sense that at the end, we are contributing to the education of young people so that they can identify these issues as something that are important, and that's something that they can make a difference or an impact. And it's up to them to choose which issues they want to have an impact on, and how our organizations are prepared to empower these initiatives and these young people that are ready to be messengers of peace or that are ready to make a very big difference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. This is very practical inputs of what we can do, how we can start, either for a very sensitive issue, but with small actions that we can do together. So we can have another group that was talking about environment.
Okay, hello. We spoke about the environment, and we had a very broad range of projects. We checked in with each of the NSOs, and just to give you an idea of some of these projects, probably in order of most commonly shared was tree planting and cleanups, and that was in the city or of parks or of rubbish or of beaches. The tree planting, another area where that led to was coastal, both cleanup and planting of mangroves for the protection of the shoreline. There was forest fire protection, and then we got into the fundamentals of the educational side of environmental issues, the distinction between what a younger child needs for education and the older scouts need for education, and what type of activities are appropriate for the younger scouts versus the older scouts. So there was a big emphasis on educational issues. And now what I'd like to do is turn it over to two of our NSOs to specifically state what some of their environmental projects are and what are some of the needs or challenges or issues that they would like to address, perhaps through messengers of peace, so that they can fulfill their educational objectives within the environmental sphere. So, Malaysia?
Hi, I'm Tan from Malaysia. We have messenger of peace projects, especially in cleaning up beaches and public parks. And we have many thousands of scouts involved in these projects. So in terms of success, yeah, we managed to get the involvement of the city councils, the government, and it was publicized in the newspaper. So it was considered a very successful project. But in terms of problems in the future, yeah, we were thinking why we will need more public fundings
So in the future, we may have to discuss with the government, with the city councils. Maybe they can provide us more funding so that we can not only clean up the places on only certain days, but maybe we can also do more than that. Maybe we can have recycling places. Yeah, instead of people throwing it all the way, we can have more facilities. We can prepare more facilities at the park, at the public beaches, so that they don't throw the rubbish in the first place. And also, we were thinking, why limit it to only scouts? We can involve other uniform units, because when we do these projects, the main scouts running the project are the senior scouts and rovers who can go around picking up the rubbish. And we also have educational programs such as drawing competition and environmental projects to educate. And we found that many family came to see. Many of the parents and the family came to see these projects. And we're thinking, why not we get them involved in the future? Instead of just scouts, we can make it a scouts and family program to be involved. And also, we will be inviting schools. Yeah, we'll be inviting schools. There are many schools, they are also interested in joining us, so that this project will become really a community project. Okay, thank you.
Hello. Hello. My name is Begazela from Zimbabwe. Basically, the kind of projects that we are involved in is tree planting. We have developed a concept of planting trees across the whole country. This is supported again by the cleanups that we have in public places and terminuses and those kind of things. But we believe that our greatest challenge, where maybe MOP could be able to support us, is in the area of organizational capacity development. We believe that we have a great lack in that area in terms of project management skills and general skills in development. We believe that for us to be able to grow in these projects that we have chosen, we need the ability to be able to manage them and to be able to sustain them. Also, we believe that if we are going to achieve more in these projects, we need to be supported in the area of scouting in schools. We used to have that, but we believe that we have more potential in getting more people from the schools. So we would require, or we are challenged in the sense that we don't have many groups that we would want to have from the school system. So we would be very grateful if we are supported in terms of developing the scouting in schools concept, so that we have more scouts. And in turn, when we have more scouts, we are able to grow more trees, and then everyone benefits. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So the environment has many different areas where we can work on. We need to remember that all these activities or projects normally are driven by NSOs. And the NSO, and we will see it later before we end, that the NSO needs to provide a platform for the scouts to drive those projects, so that the scouts have these initiatives to participate. I think we have one extra group that was working with road safety. So one of the participants that can, okay, good.
Okay. In our group, we had representatives from Israel, Italy, Nepal, Macau, Ireland, Greece, and I also have the agreement from Uganda, Convent, and also Spain, who was not here, and Indonesia. We discussed that they had an interest to work together. We shared some short videos and some activities we carried out, and we discussed, but I will give the floor maybe to John or to you first.
John,
okay.
Yeah, just a summary of our discussions, as Vasiliki said. We think that the potential for practical action at local level, at NSO or national level, and at global level is phenomenal with this project. It's already been proven in pilot over the last 2 years with Greece and the Hellenic Scouts, Scouting Ireland, and RSI Panos Milanas. So this is a proven project. It was shown off at the GDV in the World Jamboree in Sweden, and also most recently at the Moot in Canada, where staff from RSI and the Hellenic Scouts and Irish Scouts worked on the most popular workshop that was at the GDV. So this pilot has been proven to work. The idea is that we would attempt to link NSOs with their road safety authority and support them in doing that. In some cases, that's a government agency. In some cases, it's a not-for-profit organisation, such as set up by Mrs. Milanas. And in some cases, for instance, in Macau, there is no organisation. So we would need to provide some external support in that case. There are very practical things. We looked at a great video. I'll tell a little story about the Night Without Accidents, where volunteers, in this case in Greece, were placed outside 39 nightclubs, 400 volunteers in 26 cities one night. And the volunteers identified the drivers, and they had the equipment to provide breathalyzer tests as the drivers came out. If the drivers agreed to it, they were banded and they were given a gift. It was supported by the police, but the police weren't there, so it was an entirely voluntary and fun thing. You could imagine that one night as a rover event all over the world. It would be a massive, massive impact. So that was an example. Also, they had a flash mob in Syntagma Square in Athens with 130 young people, and the traffic was stopped with the police support for 4 minutes while there was a flash mob. There are videos and all this to see. So we think it's time to go global. We have commitments at the moment, I think, from Uganda, Nepal, Israel and Macau, Spain and Indonesia to move on this, and we'd really like MOP support.
One sentence. And it's all about education, and I think why it fits so nice and good in this Congress. Knowing the traffic laws, I mean, they all learn it. We're talking about young people. They all learn it. They pass the test. Now they enter the car, and it's a matter of education, how to educate them. Not to use the smartphone. It's difficult for them because they are hooked to it 24/7, right? So not to use it, to obey the law, not to drive while drinking. And education is us, the Scouts. I think it's the best frame that we can find to combine this mission, which is essential. As was said, I mean, if it's the first or second cause of death in the ages that we are educating, it's horrifying. And the thing is that it can be prevented. It's not a disease, God forbid. It can be prevented by educating them. That's why we really want to go for it, and we encourage, and you encouraged us and many others to go for it with the full power.
Before we close, to mention another example that Prakash and Kamal also mentioned as an example, because he works on the radio, we could organize awareness-raising programs on the radio and television to bring out. We can prepare the content, the text for this, and so that at the time we agree, it could be in parallel time in different countries to raise awareness that we take up under Messengers of Peace, or how we decide to bring the awareness that NSOs work on these issues to protect life on the roads. We have completed, so that's a starting.
Okay, thank you so much. How do you feel? Good, good, excellent. A lot of ideas and a lot of energy. So I'll be brief with some concepts that we need to explore more with each of your NSOs, because as we mentioned, we need to tailor it. What we are sharing with you is something general, but we need to tailor, and you are already tailoring it based on your own agenda, which is an excellent example. So we mentioned before that we have 6 actors, and we expect something from these 6 actors. As Lars mentioned before, our business is not about solving all these issues, but our business is to help the scout to find their cause, to find a purpose, and commit with that, because that's part of our scout's promise, and that's part of our legacy. So for our scouts to do that. The scout leader is the next main actor. The scout leader needs to be aware that whatever they inspire their scouts to do, they can help them achieve. And it's not only always saying yes to what they want to do. It's helping them and guiding them to find their cause, to set a vision, and to help them achieve the small steps they need to do. So this is about the scout meeting and the scout week and weekends. The next step, or the next main actor, is the scout group, because there we have the parents committee that actually is part of the community, has contacts in the community, and can help reach other actors or people interested in supporting the scouts projects. And then we have the NSO, because the NSO is the one that is supposed to set platforms to help the scouts group, to set the policies, to set the processes, to provide a trustful image of the scouts movement so that anybody can be interested in support one young person initiative. And all of them need to work together so that this scout, whenever they write their idea on paper, can be supported by one stranger. We need to provide that environment where, yes, the institutions believe in our young people. The other actor is the region, because we expect the region to find either common issues or work together because you have common interests. And we can support you in that way. Or from NSO to NSO, we can support each other because we have different expertises. And inside, or all of us are embedded in the community. We tend to provide solutions, the scouts only. We tend to design solutions sometimes without involving the community. We need to involve the other actors to work the solutions together so that also the actors become aware that we are something of value and that we are a valuable partner to work with. So this is one number from our formula, 6 network actors. 4 steps to empower young people. The first one is to inspire. The leader needs to inspire, or our scouts need to inspire. We are using scout.org by sharing the projects there to inspire. Then we want to inspire them to get into action, to come out with a project. There's no small project idea. Any service action or project is good. We want them to document or register what they are doing, because in that way they learn to become better or to do it again and again in a better way. And then we need them to share that, because if we imagine this person is the center of our spiral, when we share, the waves start growing and our influence starts growing again. So what was the first number? 6. 6 actors, okay? And this is 4 steps. And the next is 3 learning elements we need to use. Our young people need to learn skills to do the projects, need to learn attitudes, because it's part of projecting peace, projecting empathy, collaboration, and they need knowledge. How to write a project, how to address an issue. So these 3 elements are important that we include in our local weekly meetings for them to achieve their vision of a project. So what is the first number? 6 actors. And the second number? 4 steps to what? To empower young people. So 6 actors, 4 steps to empower young people, and 3 learning elements. Okay, so why good deeds, which is the basic, and maybe what we are asking Cub Scouts to do, why service actions, and why service projects? At the beginning we talk about we need to help our scouts to be aware that they are creating peace by doing good things. But we need to be aware that many of the things that we are asking our scouts to do are helping to build in them social entrepreneur behavior. If we are not aware of that, we cannot use that potential. So we need to be aware that with our 3 learning elements, we can build this social entrepreneur behavior, which actually helps any person to set a goal, to have a mission, and to try to make it sustainable in time. It's not only about doing something. It's about doing something with a vision and making it sustainable in time. And that's what's the concept of entrepreneur. And that's what we can learn through scouting. We are talking about messengers of peace, but actually we are talking about scouting. Now we are talking about peace. But it's scouting, and that's the element of service that we need to enhance to provide all of this. So Dr. Al-Fahad prepared or made some research about different volunteers that actually are participating in volunteer projects and messengers of peace projects, and he wants to share with us what they said about participating in projects.
Thank you so much. I'm here again. I'm there again. Very important to give another area some result of our activities, academic result. And as I'm a professor in university, and I believe some evidence, very strong evidence, the academic result. And I have done a research to assess our project, some part of our project. And there is a study that we have a sample of a study, the sample, random sample from 10 countries. There are 50 members, and we ask them to mark the most significant of the values of the project of Messenger of Peace. And as you see, the 7 volumes, they agree, all of them, they have 100% of the sample said this is the volumes from our project. As well, let me to tell you about the sample. The sample, they are Messenger of Peace, and they have a training course, as well they have done a project in their countries. And the next volume, 98, they believe loyalty, the first, peace, honesty, security, environment, volumes, communication, loves, brotherhood. And this is our scouting principle, our scouting law. I mean, the values came from our schools, our movements, from the heart of our movement. As you see, all the volumes have more than 90%, and this is the high result in the academic result, high percent. And I'm happy to have this result of the volumes of the values of the project, not only in one country, in 10 countries from the different regions. There is another, yeah. And that last question, which I ask them, why Messenger of Peace? Most of them said to change the world in the better. This is our message. And the last question was, what after Messenger of Peace? They say to continue with Messenger of Peace, to build the peace in everywhere in the world. They feel this is our duty. I think this is enough. And our boss gave me only 3 minutes.
Thank you, Dr. Azad. Our boss. Well, one thing we need to say is that why are we asking you so many questions? And why we are sharing with you our expectations? Because we are here to serve you. Charles, Peter, Collie, me, and many others that want to support, to deliver, and to tailor the vision of Messengers of Peace for your own country. To support you online, or to support you with ideas, or to support the region. So all these inputs are going to help us to provide more fundament or to the different actors that we are providing. So we have also good practices, and Dr. Hamad wanted to share some things that we've learned during this process and tips how you can start local level with initiatives.
Okay, the last minute in the Congress. Okay, you know, I'm an assistant professor in the university, and I have a group in my college. One of them, one day, he came to me. He said, "Oh, doctor, I live in a poor area, and these the students of that poor area, they can't learn English very good, and we are teachers of English, and some our rovers are they will be teachers of science. We want to teach these students." I said, "Okay, this is one of the messengers of peace." So they taught them, because if they want to bring a private teacher, it's expensive. So they taught them free. The second one, you know, in Ramadan, as a Muslim, we're fasting, and after the sunset, we eat. Then before the sunrise, also we have to eat. Most of the people, they gave the employees, the poor employees, give them food only after the sunset. But they don't give them at late night, they give them food. So one of the groups, they said, we want to distribute food after midnight to these poor people. So this one of the projects was successful as a Messengers of Peace. The last one is, we mentioned it in environment, is we have on the Red Sea, we have problem with the mangroves. And you know, these trees are protecting shores, and it's good places for fishes to lay their eggs. So our association take this decision to to plant these trees with the seed leading, and the president of the association himself, he started to plant this tree, and then the others help him. But the trees came from the community. The community helped us to bring these trees, so we plant these mangroves in the Red Sea. Okay.
There are another good practices that Dr. Hamad provides us is use your own NSO or NSA structure to track the impact. There's no need to create another structure. You already have your district structure, your local group structure, so you just need to share with them what's the idea with Messengers of Peace and Service, and they will provide you with the information. We are building a system online so that you can share your activities with us online, and that people can learn what you are doing, and that we can track how many messengers of peace are active actually, because we are tracking, we need to track what you are doing. And the last one is transfer the knowledge. We are sharing information, or people is going to be trained or is trained. But the most important thing is that you transfer this to the scout leader, to the local group, because the network actually of service is not going to happen at the NSO level. It needs to happen in the local level, and with those small clusters of scout leader or scout patrol with the leader and the scout doing the service actions. They will start small maybe, but as Pia said, we can raise the bar after we achieve the first success. And then we need to repeat, and that's the way our network will grow. And it's not only about scouts. We need to involve the community and tell them that they can also be messengers of peace, because peace is a responsibility from the community, all of the actors. So we have Peter also, just to finalize with what results in other numbers or the fund is doing. And I want to share with you that your ideas, we try to create products from that. So some trainings ago, one scout said, why don't you create an app to register the service actions in your phone? So now, 2-3 months ago maybe, started one group of scouts in Venezuela. They are professionals in developing technology, and they are creating a Messengers of Peace app to track the service actions so that cubs or scouts or leaders can actually report with their smartphones, or we are trying also with the SMS, so that they can report the service actions, and that can be registered on scout.org, but it could be in your hand. If I just did something good to someone, I can report what I did. So we hope to have that by January, and we expect you to share that with your scouts. So the last part will be for Peter.
Very quickly, because we are at the end of our session, these statistics to the scout are irrelevant, okay? I went to my scout troop in my town because it was fun. I really wasn't conscious of the fact that I was one of what today would be 40 million, right? I was just there Monday nights because it was fun, and I knew everybody there. But collectively, this is what we're doing. This is our impact. Let me just make 2 comments here. You know, Facebook, we're actually up to 75,000 and growing. The 18 million is 21 million, and that's in a month we've made those jumps. 21 million service hours. Okay, and that's just what we're able to capture. This is just showing you the money that we've spent across the regions. It's not important to the scout, but it's a resource we have available for our NSOs to deliver better scouting. And we have to be accountable as an organization to the donor and to other donors. We have to be able to show what an investor is getting as a return on his investment in us, in scouting. Number of projects, again, what's going on at the NSO level, so we can show the evidence to the donors. Categories, the only thing I want to emphasize here is capacity strengthening. This is the largest area. It's broadly defined. Before we're able to reach our goals and objectives as an organization, we, as an NSO, need to make sure our organization has the operational capacity, has the resources, has the infrastructure. And we know we have great and diverse capacities depending on whether you're from a wealthy country, a poor country, or how long scouting has been active, or whether there's political or environmental upheavals or crises in your countries. This is the wrap-up. And I say this with a grateful heart that we have a duty and we have a responsibility to create a better world. That's our mission. I learned a lot myself these past 3 days. And there's one thing that has stuck with me, and I find it humbling, and it was Lars Colin that brings up this information, which is right now, alive on this planet, we are not just an organization of 40 million scouts, but there are 500 million scout alums on the planet. That's about 1/12 of the world's population. And you know what? We all shared, including the scouts of today, we all stood there, consciously or unconsciously, and we made a promise. We made a promise to do our best. And we didn't make that promise just at that moment while it would last for while I was a scout, but we made that promise for our lives. So there are 500 million people on the planet today that have made the promise to do our best. And I see that among you who are here, and I find that inspiring, I find that humbling, and I find that powerful. And yes, as I gray and get older, it's really the 40 million scouts and their younger generation who we're preparing to step in and take on and take us to the next level in a very fast changing world. And that's what this educational congress is about, to, as we heard yesterday, future-proof the youth, to prepare what we're leaving them. And what we're leaving them is not necessarily all positive. So together with our scouts, our partners, and the 500 million alumni who have made the promise, I invite you all to embrace our mission as messengers of peace and join us joyfully, as Baden-Powell said, to leave this world a little better than we found it. So, thank you.
Thank you. So, first, thank you all. I don't know if there are questions. We are over time, but if there are questions, we can answer or we can stay later. And I want to thank Lars for sharing with us his expertise, Lorena for sharing your ideas with NSOs and how we should integrate our policies, to Karen. Where is she? Here. Yes. We want to present her the scarf, the Messengers of Peace scarf.
I've been waiting.
To Vasiliki, to Kali, where is Kali? Hi, it's in the back, but it's in the back and is one of our most valuable resources and one of the creator ideas of Messengers of Peace, and one of the person that is helping us to do that. To Charles, to the Saudi Arabia government and King, because they are helping us with that. But most of all, thank you, because we expect from the promise that Peter mentioned that you go and share this vision and try to make it the vision of others, because we have a powerful network that we need to start using and activating to change the world. So Dr. Hamad has also ribbons for you, and we have some badges. Is there a question? A comment, okay. So, one comment, and thank you so much for being here. Online participants, we are going to...
Hi, good day, everybody. My name is Sanda again, from Madagascar. But I'm one of the administrators for Messengers of Peace, so on Facebook. So for Facebook, please tell your Scott as well to be very active on Facebook, to like, to be more member, because now I'm not really sure how many we are, but to be more friends. Yeah, but it's just to see towards good to be more, because we are both of us as a translator. Yes, yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Before we finish the class, I like to give some key point what we have been success to access in the project to the kids, empowerment to the kids, 100,000. The key word is you have to have recognitions to what they have done, what they have performed. Your encouragement, everything we have talked, encouragement, power, push them to work, network. But don't forget, the most key essential success, you have the recognition. You have to prepare some certificates, some recognition, some medals, some anything to show them that we encourage them to work. We start our project very slow in the beginning, but once we start recognition, and not only the school level, district level, but even to the country levels. So in Thailand, the highest recognition, the kids can have the medal from the king, the royal medals. So this project has been support the whole country now. So this may I present you samples, and hope some Thai, or you can ask me to translate for you inside. So thank you very much. I hope everybody is success. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much to everybody. I know it's the last day. It's been a long journey, but you've been here and a lot of energy. We are still learning. So thank you so much. We hope to see you online. And to our online participants, thank you for being there. I think we have a lot, and we expect you to see you during these days and next weeks and next year. So thank you so much. Okay, so everybody to say hello to the online participants.
Like this. All like this. Yes, all like this. Yeah. We are scouts and we are messenger of peace.
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
Like this. Okay, family photo please here all together.